titled Me on Guam, December 8, 1941. And they are Anna Bacani and also Brianna Delgado. Now we're going to hear Brianna's essay.
Me on Guam, December 8, 1941. What's the name of that beautiful island in the Pacific Ocean? The one where America's day begins? The one where there's so much giving to others? That place, my friend, is called Guam, which is paradise to others and what we call home. Let me backtrack to when something tragic, horrifying, and horrendous happened here on Guam. First, you should keep in mind that war is ugly. It takes the lives of innocents, and it is the worst human experience imaginable. Around 6 a.m. Sunday morning, I can hear my Nana telling me to get ready for church to celebrate the holiday of Santa Maria and Carmelin, one of the most significant holidays on Guam. My Nana handed me a white dress to wear, and she put my hair in a ponytail. We headed out and walked to the Agana Cathedral since it wasn't far. The rest of my family stayed home preparing for the fiesta. It wasn't long before Bishop Alano stopped the service and informed us about the invasion and told us to go home. Nana quickly grabbed me by the hand and said, "No matter what happens in this world, I'll do anything to protect you." As I looked up at the sky, I counted 9 planes flying all over. It was 8:27 a.m. when the bombing started. It was so boisterous and intimidating. When we arrived at Nana's house, the rest of the family members had to abandon the festival and find a safe place to hide, so they packed their stuff and we all headed to Talafofo. It was so sad because when we reached the Ilik Bridge, the Japanese people were burning it, but we ended up running over it and made it to Talafofo. The planes ended up bombing Sumai and Hagåtña, which were the 2 main pre-war communities. December 8, 1941 marks the first day of World War II on Guam, but for us it was far from over. On December 10, 1941, the Japanese began the invasion of Agate and Dunkas Beach. They easily took Guam as part of their Western Pacific Coast Prosperity Sphere. They renamed Guam to Omiyajima, or Great Island Shrine. The Japanese forced the people to bow before them and toward the emperor. They ordered the innocent Chamorros to work for long hours with no pay in labor camps. Among the many horrible acts of brutality brought by the war was abducting Chamorro girls and women to serve as comfort women for Japanese officers. Women were taken at gunpoint, being tortured and raped. Some women fought, but most stayed strong. Up until this day, we have women who survived this despicable act of violence. Of course, they won't talk about it, but they would always know what happened, no matter how hard they try to forget. The portrayal of life here on Guam during this time wasn't fun. People literally were already begging for their life. Chamorros were brutalized, tortured, and killed. People had to obey the Japanese and do what they were told. If not, we were whipped and beaten with tongue-and-tongue sticks that measured about 5 feet long and 1 inch thick. Some people had to hustle from the ranch and then later be ordered to march to Menengan. The sad part was that they couldn't even help anyone who fell behind or fell down, even if that person was their grandmother, a sick relative, or a dying friend. They had to move on and leave them there, lying on the road covered with mud. World War II was a surprise to everyone, something no one expected and definitely didn't want to happen. For many children of war survivors, their parents' experiences were a mystery. I, Brianna Delgado, learned so much by researching and reading what happened on stories of what survivors had to go through. I'll always be thankful for what I have now and appreciate everyone and everything because I wasn't a part of that tragic experience. The most important thing that I learned from this assignment was that our people are very strong and resilient, that no matter what anyone does to us Chamorros, we'll remain standing for future generations.
You know, ladies, in listening to your reading, your winning entries to, of course, the governor's essay contest, you had to write it in the first person, basically, as one who's experienced it. And you did the intensive research, both, you said, on what is written as well as in interviewing and oral history. What was that experience like? In the first person. In writing this in the first person?
It was really hard because just to think yourself back there, actually imagining it and getting the details correct. When you're imagining it, it was pretty tough to actually know the points and when it happened.
Anna?
Oh, I felt like I was really there. I was experiencing all the traumatizing fear, all the struggles, and I felt a personal connection while I was as I was able to express it in my thoughts, feelings and emotions.
Yeah, yeah, and so you had to get in that mindset. You had to be that person really, actually there, living, undergoing that, in interviewing your oral interviews that you had. What were the emotions of these people that lived through it? How did that come through to you, and how did that affect your writing and your view of what happened back then?
Fear.
Yeah.
That's the main thing about.
Anna?
Yeah.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yeah. Rihanna.
To me, their feeling was very traumatized because it was unexpected, and it was right now while I was writing that, that's just my thought. Like, these people were traumatized because it came out of nowhere. So it gave me a better, like, it boosted up my words of thought for the essay. So that's how I got it.
Okay, tell you what, we're going to take a quick break, then we'll come back and then talk more to these young ladies about their essay and their research and really how it makes them perceive Guam now and the future. Be right back.